can't.
Andrea, relax.
Please. Just please tell me it's not a tarantula.
Dude, relax.
I hear
would
growling.
never do that.
I think it was just the car. Wait, stop.
Andrea,
Please.
there's nothing.
I can't do it.
There's nothing in the room. Andrea, there's nothing in the room.
Okay, can you let me know when they... Can you wait?
You did say if I set a time for content, you're down for whatever I want.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be blindfolded.
I'm going to need you to put out your hands, and I promise he can't do anything.
No! Close your eyes. Okay, I'm taking this off.
No, Andrea.
Alex,
you promised. You said I could decide the content. Never say those words again.
I'm right here to help you.
Sorry. Just fire again, please. Stop, please.
You're free.
Okay, he's cute. He's so cute. He's cute from a distance. He's cute from a distance.
I'll just take him back.
I'm sorry for screaming at him. It's not his fault.
Look.
Well, now that I survived that, I feel like I can do anything.
All right, Andrea.
Why are you more intimidating now after the last segment?
You said I could plan the content.
It's just like getting more and more intense. Okay.
So, how long have you been single for?
So, last night, I'm cooking dinner, minding my business. It's 9 p.m. on a Friday night. I've got no plans as usual. And my sister just comes out of nowhere, and she's like, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, what's up? How long have you been single for? And it was very rude because, it's been a very long time, and that I actually have been single since high school, which we don't need to clarify how long that's been.
So 5 years?
Approaching 5 years, you could say yes.
What are you looking for in a romantic partner?
Well, I feel like, okay, so let's say my top 3 must. I'm looking for someone who is charismatic and empathetic and cares about people. Someone who can make me laugh. They also have to be really quick-witted, like they should keep up with me. And they also need to be interesting enough where they're making me have new conversations and think about things I haven't thought before. And ideally, you're learning and growing from them. So that would be the 3 must-haves.
I've been thinking about this question for a while. Do you actually want to be in a relationship right now?
I think if I found someone I was in love with, I would love to be in a relationship. I think it's just hard when you're not really head over heels anyone. Why not just spend that time on yourself?
Well, I have seen you get head over heels for people when you first meet them, and then 2 weeks later, the interest goes away.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the whole problem, but it's a lot of time like the infatuation and the mystery, and I hate to say it, but most of the time, the guy that I build up in my head is not the guy I meet, and the more I get to know him, generally, the less interesting they become sometimes.
Do you believe in the concept of the one or in soulmates?
Well, it depends what people... There's different definitions of soulmates, right? Like there's twin flames, there's soulmates.
Yeah, if we're going to the astrology.
Yeah, so it's like... I believe like when you meet someone, it can be like they're in your life for a reason, but I doubt that there's like, okay, there's my star-crossed lover. It's hard because I haven't felt falling in love for a long time, and I have a...
How many times have you been in love?
I think I fell really hard when I was young, and my first really long, serious boyfriend, the only one really, that lasted until I was like 19 for like 5 years. I think he was my first real love.
Do you still have love for him?
In a different way, but I also think love that you experience when you're younger is a lot more intense. And like this is a question I ask you all the time, like, oh, what does love feel like for you as an adult? Because I'm sure that I'm chasing that high and that thrill that I had when I was really young, but that's also because you're just experiencing so many things for the first time.
So you think that the first time you fall in love is the deepest?
So far, I would say yes, and I think that has led me to have unrealistic expectations. But I also just think I haven't met the right person yet. What do you think?
Well, from everybody you've met since we've been working together, so since you've been 18, there have been a few people that I thought you would have been a good fit for had you guys been in a relationship.
Okay, like who? You can name them.
Okay,
we'll
just beep it out. For example.
Oh, come on. Really? You thought, well, I guess maybe if...
So there was this one guy who I thought Andrea would be a really good fit for.
I hate him now.
She hates him so much. But as soon as they're dating, Andrea goes, I don't want anything serious. And then 2 weeks later, she's like, I don't know why he doesn't want to be serious with me.
So, well, it was that and like kind of maybe misleading him but not realizing I had feelings. But also that man was a player and he played every girl in... And I heard so many stories of him being a player, so fuck that guy.
So nobody stood out in the last 5 years as someone who you may have dated?
I think the only one was... But I think the issue with both of them is like they're very compatible as partners, but long term I just didn't find them super interesting. But it's hard because they both had really good traits that made like a really good boyfriend, like family values, being gentlemen, treating you the right way, being there for you emotionally as well. But just like, I don't want to say intellectually they couldn't keep me interested, but that kind of was the issue. But I don't know if that's the right answer. But I feel like seeing from what has gone well and not well in your love life, I feel like if I want to find a really interesting man who can keep me like constantly on my toes, those guys usually kind of end up being like narcissists from seeing your exes. So I'm like, maybe I don't need a super hyper intelligent man. I mean, they can be intelligent, but you know, maybe in a different sense.
Okay. I think that's fair. But now that you have been single for 5 years, how often do you experience loneliness?
Well, now it's gotten better because we have a roommate. So I think, honestly, I would go on a lot more dates when you were gone a lot because
Wait, you were trying to fill the hole in your heart from your big sister with dates?
The only time I go on dates is when you're out of town because I'm like, what am I going to do? Just sit alone and like, I don't want to go out and party.
I mean,
hang out with
let's be
friends.
for real. Have you ever had more fun with a date than you do with me?
I mean, if you drink enough alcohol, yeah. No, but again, that was the worst. And like, the truth is when you ask me, what am I looking for in a partner? It sounds weird, but it's like, I want to have the same connection I have with my sister, but with like a sexy man who's like, you know, there but not my sister. But it's hard.
A sexy man, not my sister.
Well, yeah, because like we check all the boxes. I feel like we're the dream woman, except for like, you know, a couple things. But I feel like we're good standards to set for ourselves for men.
Okay, I agree, but to not let it get to my head, what's one quality in me that you would never want in a romantic partner?
Oof. Okay, I have to think. I'm treading carefully on this one.
I have so many good traits. It's hard, right?
You do. You definitely do. I'd say I think your greatest weakness is sometimes you can hyperfixate on like one thing and get really obsessive, and that kind of makes you zone out space for other emotions, maybe other creative stuff. And I don't want to say like you kind of lose your sense of self, but you dedicate so much of you and your work sometimes that you don't leave space to explore other things.
Give me an example.
I mean, you've gotten much better at this, but I've watched you through like the deepest ends of being a workaholic. And it's honestly a great skill because it also helps me balance out and know when we should focus. But sometimes I don't think it's so one-sided. You should just focus all in on just, for example, we're just grinding Twitch and we want to just funnel all our resources. Sometimes it's really good because that's also when we achieved our greatest things. But then... And honestly, maybe this is what we need to be doing more of, focusing on one thing. But I felt like the greatest ideas is when I had space to like feel like we could be creative and explore. And I just think that could hold us back sometimes. But that's more of a work thing. I think you're a very good girlfriend. And from your last relationships, like honestly, I wouldn't even say you have any red flags or anything.
I think my red flag is that I get depressed sometimes.
Yeah, but that's not something that you can control. So that's never something that I'd be like, that's your fault, you know?
True, but it still impacts the other person.
That's fair. And I mean, the truth is my sister and I are like a married couple. Like we function very much like a married couple. Yeah. I wonder if you think we're codependent. I don't think we're super codependent, but I definitely feel like when you're down, I'm also down, and it's really hard for me to be like uplifting and positive if I see you being down, and like, but also it works great because when we're both healthy and on top of our shit, we're both inspiring each other. But I would say that, yeah, when you're down, you're really down and it's out of your control, but sometimes you just lose hope, and you also just be more confident in yourself, because I think like the way you see yourself versus the way I and everyone else sees you is so drastically different. And I'm overly optimistic. Maybe Alex is more of a realist, but I definitely think you could be more confident in yourself also.
Well, it's interesting that you're talking about confidence, because I did want to talk to you about that today. So first, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your self-esteem?
Well, okay. Out of 10, I would say it's pretty high. Well, self-esteem is different because I don't tie my self-esteem so much just to my looks. It's also like what I think I'm capable of doing and succeeding. And I think I'm very capable of succeeding whatever I'm really passionate about. So I'd give it like a solid 8. But if we're talking about like, you know, the more superficial stuff, that's not how I define it. How about you?
I think I struggle with self-esteem, but it depends in what areas. I think slowly I'm building confidence in myself, but I do definitely hyperfixate on stuff. But going back to you, because I get to ask you questions today, in the past, I've heard you say that your looks are one of your top assets. Do you still think this is true?
It's kind of like, this is not the best reference, but like a nice cupcake. Ooh, maybe like an ice cream, and then you get to like the gooey brownie inside, and like that's the really good part. But on the surface, I think it's just really easy to use my looks for advantages, and obviously any content that goes viral, that's the first thing you see. But what I value and what I know my strength is, I totally think that comes down more to my personality and my creativity. But on the surface, 100%, it's looks.
So what would you rank your top 3 assets in terms of how far they've gotten you?
Well, the hard thing is that looks is always the gateway into even having access to opportunities. So without looks, I wouldn't even really get to use my other more personable strengths to their full potential, because the truth is, like, you just get less opportunities. So that is the gateway. But I wouldn't say it's the top ranking, because I think there's so many attractive girls there's hundreds of, you know, TikTok, Insta famous. But I think what really sets the ones apart who succeed is, first of all, like, you know, having something more interesting about them, whether they're like more passionate about certain things, or I just want to say not super basic.
So what would you rank your top 3 then? What's number 1?
Is this to myself, or is this what I think the public ranks?
This is what you think your top 3 attributes are in terms of where you've gotten at this point in life.
Okay, this is good. It's somewhere between like, I sound like such a fucking tech bro, but like my drive and my commitment, I would say that's one of them. And then I'd say my creativity is one of them. And then I guess I would have to say looks. It's not something that I value, but I have to acknowledge that obviously it plays a part in everything.
Do you think you have pretty privilege?
100%. I think we both do. We very well know that.
Well,
I think when we're done up, like, it's crazy, and I love it. We go looking homeless all the time, because sometimes you don't want to attract any attention, and it's great. Like, you have your hoodie, your bun, and like no one would recognize me, and I love that. But I think, like, okay, if I want to feel good and dress good for myself, it's just crazy how, like, okay, it's so obvious to see the attention you get versus if you put effort in your appearance and versus if you don't. So
yeah, there's way more benefits. You get so much out of
which sometimes
trying
you
to
don't
look
want.
better.
If you just want to go on a walk in the park, who gives a shit? But Actually, I have a funny, this is kind of a tangent, but I'm curious your thoughts on this. But this week has been pretty rough in the Botez household. This month, honestly. This year, okay, no.
All right.
And we've all just been cycling between like figuring out what the hell we're doing with our lives. And I was in yoga class. I haven't worked out for a long time because I was sick. We're finally working out, and I love going to hot yoga, but then I compared myself to all the skinny, blonde women in there who are super lean.
The women who go to our hot yoga class,
they're so good looking.
They're so good looking.
It's like, yeah, and I sometimes...
Also, if you're a single dude, go to hot yoga.
It's the best. You don't need a dating app. Just go to hot yoga. Like literally, and the women who go there too are like kind of more spiritual and like they care about their body. They're just so much, it's such a great place. But sometimes I genuinely, when I'm working out, I like have to close my eyes and help myself focus because I just can't help but compare myself to all the other girls in the room because you're just staring at yourself working out in a mirror, and it's like, the most bougie studio in LA. So, and I was in my class the other day and I was like, what will make me feel better? It's kind of shallow, but it's true. But just being hotter, because the truth is, for the last 2 weeks, I have been sick and swollen from my wisdom teeth, and I haven't done anything to care about my appearance, and sometimes you just feel better when you look better. So I was like, you know what? My nails are outgrown, and this is superficial as hell, but I'm just telling you, it works. Like, I want to redo my nails and feel fancy, and maybe I wanted to get my eyelashes done, and also privilege. I can pay for all this, but a big part of it is also just like washing my hair. I will stay in the same dirty bun for a week. And just that one day, I was like, today is a day that I pamper myself. I'm also going to be on camera a lot. It makes sense. And then the next day, I went to my workout. And I'm telling you, had I not been like caring a little bit more about my outfit and my hair, this random guy in the gym approached me. And it actually ended up being a really cool connect. He recognized me from chess. And they have like this really cool creative space that's like a studio space, a filming space. It's a really small, tight-knit community just for artists. It's actually a really great space. I'm really excited to use it. But had I been going in my regular homeless attire that I had been wearing for like 2 weeks straight, he would have never approached me. So I do think sometimes it is good to put effort into superficial things like looks. And the truth is you attract maybe not always good, but more opportunities.
No, I think that's fair. And you also are putting your best foot forward, not just in real life, but also on social media. And one story I wanted to remind you of today.
Okay.
Do you remember that time when you tweeted the photo? It was kind of sultry. It was a bra or a bralette. It was yellow. It was on Twitter. Mom saw it, freaked out. She was like, why is Andrea posting a photo in her bra? And then we talked to you about it. You ended up getting upset and deleting it, and then you also got angry at me because I always get the backlash.
One? There was a couple.
It was yellow, and you had like this wet look going on.
Was it taken in a pool?
I don't know.
I think it was. Okay, I don't remember, but okay, continue.
And one of the things that I've noticed from the start is that you were always into expressing your body in this way and being willing to post things where you look sexier.
Yep.
And mom didn't
Mom's
really
Romanian,
always approve
and I
of
don't
it.
blame her. Yeah.
But I was curious. How do you think about that? How have you become open to it?
Well, that's actually a really good question because it's something I've been thinking a lot about, and now, as every adult does, changing my opinion, but for completely different reasons. Because all my friends in high school were gay guys, and like they were buying I Am Gia, we were styling each other, and like we were, all our idols on social media were like Lily Rose Depp and, people from Euphoria, and the whole thing of Euphoria is like, it's kind of like rave wear, and it's high school, but also it's high school. So like it was so much fun styling, and totally it was sexy things, but we were just doing it for ourselves as high school kids, and it was so much fun. And that was like the artsy group I was in. And also for me as a young kid, it was definitely an act of like rebellion because like our parents were strict in a lot of sense. And I felt like, oh, this is the one thing I have control over. which we would still argue about all the time. And I was also, I'd say I was very I was a big social justice warrior in high school. And when I was having fun dressing a little more sexy and whatnot, it wasn't because I was particularly trying to appeal to the male gaze, but I was just like, why not? Like, if I feel good, what's the problem? And then as the years went by, now a really annoying thing about it is that I'm like, well, it doesn't matter what your initial motive is. It's always going to attract a certain audience and a male gaze. And I just got so sick of that audience. It was something that like I used to.
Why did you get sick of the audience?
It just, I feel like, yeah, when all your photos are, I don't want to say sexy photos, but like I would never feel confident if I'm like wearing a big oversized sweatshirt or a turtleneck. And the truth is sometimes I feel more like myself, but I don't feel like I can do social media in that because I just feel like I look less good. And I realize I've like so much altered the image of what is good looking just because, number one, all my role models in social medias were fellow e-girls who are, you know, pretty exposed all the time. And there's just not a lot of role models for women. And that's why I love Billie Eilish so much, who do have more of a conservative style. And you just didn't feel like, oh, dressing conservative, I don't even mean conservative, but maybe more tomboy, you know, can be sexy as well. And now I'm just kind of rediscovering fashion and realizing I like other things, but I just didn't really see any of that when I was younger. And now I kind of just want to feel like I have control again. And I also I really hate a lot of the attention that gets sometimes, but obviously it's hard because
what do you mean you hate the attention you get?
Like the comments just make me so uncomfortable, and I know obviously that's my.
Oh, what comments? What do you get?
Just anytime
give 2 sentences so people get the gist.
Anytime I post an Instagram picture or reel, the first GIF that gets commented is like a jacking off GIF. It's like a cartoon doing it, or like a boner in cartoon version. And I just see it every time, and it's just so disgusting. And it could just be, it doesn't matter. It could just literally be like a selfie or me smiling, but that's always the first thing. And I just can't unsee it.
That's fair. But at the same time, obviously, if you're a girl on Instagram, you know that if you post something sexy, you're going to get more likes. Does that ever go through your head?
It does, and I think there's a natural balance. I think it's like you can show off certain things, but it doesn't have to feel like you're completely, I don't want to say like selling yourself, but I feel like there's a fine line behind that.
Is there, at what amount of money would you take OnlyFans?
I don't think it's about because like right now, money is just important.
So if somebody offered you $50 million, you wouldn't do OnlyFans?
I mean, and people are gonna be like, she's lying. But I think I just need as much money to funnel the projects that I'm passionate about and to live a good life, which I think right now we have. And it's like, to make more money, sure, you know, buy our family a house and retire. But I think we'll be able to do that regardless. So
will we? It's been a tough economy system.
I think we're gonna succeed. I really do. And also, like, the things that I want to achieve with music, it's just
okay.
OnlyFans
So you're telling me
align.
there's no number offered that
I guess,
you would take.
Okay, you never work a day in your life, obviously, but I don't know. I just don't think that way because I think as long as we have enough money to be happy, I don't think it's going to make a difference. And it's also going to ruin the passion projects that I want to work on. So it's like, is it worth completely sacrificing your mental? But I'm sure, like, you know, I'm saying all this, and I bet realistically, like, but that's personally how I feel. Because then I would also have to change, like, my passion projects and what I want to do with my life. And that is more important. We're going to use the same universal outro for every podcast because we just yapped about 100 topics. But if you guys enjoyed it.
It's not a podcast.
We filmed more, watched more. We yapped a lot. I hope you guys like it and let us know what you want us to talk about next time.
And please leave comments. I will actually read them.
We read comments about things we care about, and we definitely care about this. So
yeah,
please.
So if you're writing a comment, at least within a week of this video coming out, I will read it. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
See you guys next time.